Our next guest is another amazing patient. You took an idea and turned it into a national women's shooting league. Tell us, for people that don't know, what is the Well Armed Woman all about?
Well, I like that shirt. There she is. The Well Armed Woman is a couple of things. One, it's a national resource for all women who are curious about owning a gun for self-protection, or even more seasoned for training tips and things like that. So that is the wellarmedwoman.com. And we also have a nonprofit, which is the Well Armed Women Shooting Chapters. And that organization was really born out of what I heard from women. I heard that they were uncomfortable going to the range, a little intimidated, and thought, well, maybe if women got together and got to go shoot together and train together, that would help alleviate that. So we started that program, and boy, it took off. Women just volunteered from all over the country and to lead the groups. And so these groups meet monthly in about 375 ranges across the country. And women are just so eager to learn and train and be their own self-protectors, and to get to do that as a group is pretty amazing. And so that's kind of what the Well Armed Woman is, and we're very excited about its growth and how well received it's been.
How many chapters do you have across America?
I think we're about 370. It kind of changes, 370 or 372 now. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah. And sitting beside me is Stacy Clunch. Stacy is the director of the Well Armed Woman Southwest Arkansas chapter. Yes. And I tell you that Stacy has just grown that group phenomenally. There are like 25, 30 women that show up every month here to shoot with the Well Armed Woman group. And just watching what it's done for those women's lives has been amazing. You equip them, you empower them to take control over their personal security. And that's just an amazing thing. And I congratulate you, Carrie, for such a huge, successful program. One of the reasons I wanted to bring you on too is because your organization was the latest conservative, well, it's not even conservative, but you're a firearms related business organization to be the victim of media bias by the social media. Your Instagram page was recently deleted. The Well Armed Woman national Instagram page recently deleted for how long?
It was about 6 days.
And for no reason, right? Did you get did you violate any of their rules or anything like that?
I don't know what we did or didn't do. There was no communication from Instagram at all, and still has not been. So the page just went down, and then I've made a lot of noise. You know, I'm blessed to know a lot of people in the industry. And so I had people from the NRA, NSSF, Crossbreed Holsters, AmmoLand, Truth About Guns, Bearing Arms. Everybody just kind of pitched in, and our fans and followers and our chapter members kind of went loud with it, and it just appeared 6 days later with no explanation at all. And you know, I think it's important to understand that our pages, our social media is not political. We're not controversial. I mean, except unless you're an anti-gun person, or you know, somebody who wishes we all didn't have the right to own a firearm. But it's all about education and empowering women. So, you know, there's no nudity, there's no violence, we don't incite violence. I mean, none of the things that normally kind of tick off social media.
And you're not a partisan organization. I mean, you're not a political organization, unlike, you know, a lot of us out there who've actually been victims of social media bias as far as losing our pages or having them shadow banned or whatever. Your organization doesn't do political posts. It's all about just women deciding to protect themselves and get trained in self-defense. So it's hard to understand why that happened. But your page is back up.
Yes,
was it an explanation about why it's back up?
Nope, nothing. It just reappeared. We were just able to log back in, and it was live. No explanation. Yeah. It's really frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. And, you know, for years we've been kind of seeing the censorship or whatever, but it feels like it's gone to new lows, you know, to new depths. And it really is a concern. And if you think about the thousands, hundreds of thousands of firearms related businesses, smaller businesses, you know, they don't have the contacts that I have, you know, and so what do? You know, we made a stink, and we were able to make a loud enough stink, I assume, that forced them to put it back up. But the gun owner who gets shut down, or the gun shop that gets shut down, they may not
have connections.
Those connections and that ability. And so when this happened, I was hearing from everybody. I was getting, Facebook messages and emails, from small companies whose pages had been removed. Mm-hmm. So it's not like this is going to happen. It's already happening. Yeah. And it's a real concern.
To an organization that's simply trying to equip and empower women. Stacey, you recently attended the National Well-Armed Woman Convention. Mm-hmm. And I want to know, what did it feel like to be in that convention hall with just a huge crowd of women in purple shirts? What was it like to be a part of that?
It is so empowering. Honestly, it pumps you up. Mm-hmm. It just makes you feel, I don't know, you just beam inside. All these women that share the same passion, building mm-hmm. everybody up, and it's just love. Everybody just comes together. I mean, like family, and you don't even know them, but they're just like family.
And I noticed the group of women that you've gotten here, and you work really hard to make sure that nothing's ever partisan. I mean, she's very specific about not, her organization here is not Democrat, Republican. It's about self-defense and equipping, empowering. So how did you feel when you saw that the national page has been shut down?
I was furious. I felt helpless. I immediately, when I saw Carrie's post, I was like, this is not going to work. So I started sharing and just
getting the
like
word
she
out.
said, just feeling helpless, because we are just trying to help women. Mm-hmm. And our posts are never one side or the other. Mm-hmm. So I just thought, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Thank God it's back on.
Carrie, your organization, you formed that organization at just the right time, at a time when women really started deciding it's time to get armed and trained. I mean, you couldn't have picked a better time. And I've watched women come in to our facility to come to her meetings. And I just kind of sit back and watch, and I'm a member too. I joined and I listen and I learn. And for example, the women are just so hungry for the knowledge and how to protect themselves. When you came back from the convention, you brought back some tips that you learned at the convention on self-defense. And I learned some things. I thought I knew what I needed to know about hand-to-hand combat stuff, but it was amazing.
Yeah, we try to keep it entertaining, but we also try to keep it fresh. Mm-hmm. And so we're always bringing in speakers, or I'm always looking and trying to figure out what women want, and really try to kind of touch each one. It's kind of hard because you have to get to know each woman, and I really want them to feel like they're heard. Mm-hmm. And just, I don't want to just firearms. That is our biggest focus, but I also want to look at other things like non-lethal type of tactics and whatnot. So
now, Carrie, so if women are watching this and saying, hey, that sounds like something I want to do, because when you go to the Well-Armed Woman meetings, if you join the Well-Armed Woman, you come to the meetings, you get to shoot, for free at the range where you go to, and you get to have that camaraderie with other women who are interested, and you don't have to be a gun goddess or a tactical princess to be able to shoot. It's a learning environment as well. You have a national website that people can go to. Can you explain how people can go to that website and connect with a chapter in their state?
Very good. The hub of all of everything Well-Armed Women is the wellarmedwoman.com. And up on the top there's a link to find a chapter in your area. So you can read the content, ask your questions. I mean, many women come to the site who don't own a gun yet. Right. And they're curious. And I think one of the beautiful things that the Well-Armed Woman has done is kind of put out the welcome mat, and normalized, if you will, armed self-protection for women. So it gives them a place to go and get their questions answered. And from there, you can find the products, you can go find a chapter. That's really the hub. So that's what I would recommend, is to go to the wellarmedwoman.com.
And, speaking of that, I was on your website a couple of months ago, and I was really excited to see that for women who haven't bought a gun yet, you actually had an article on there that was based on a number of studies of women who have tried 200 different guns, I believe. And you had a listing of, these are the most popular guns that women seem to like after shooting all these guns. These are the ones they like the most. And I thought that was extremely helpful to women because people are always asking me, what should I shoot? Yeah. And the interesting thing is the article and the order that you listed the guns and the types of guns, and you said, this is the most popular for women, this is the second most, that actually was right in line with the women who take my classes here.
Oh, very good.
And what they end up choosing. Yeah.
Very good. That's the most, there's two questions. Well, there's really three questions that we deal with on a daily basis. One is which gun, what gun? and there's no right gun for every woman. So you have to kind of think about it, try some, go to the ranges, rent them and get your hands on them. It's like a shoe or a bra. You've got to pick out your own because it's got to fit and be comfortable, and you have to be able to use it properly. And the second question is, how do I carry it? Right. So, we get into that whole topic of holsters, which holsters, this is how I dress. I'm a larger woman, I'm a skinnier woman. And we go through all of that and then have the holsters to help them with that. And then the third is, where can I shoot? Who can I shoot with? I need to connect with an instructor or a chapter so that I can begin my journey. And so those are the three things that we deal with every single day.
Carrie, thank you so much for joining us. I am thrilled that your website is back up, your Instagram account is back up rather, and we're going to keep an eye on the Well-Armed Woman. I think that you're just going to continue to grow, and we're excited about what you all are doing, and thank you for that.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Thanks to Stacy and the 1,000 women across the country that do what she does. They're the ones that make this thing really just magical.
Okay, we'll be back, folks, with more Conduit news after this break. Stay tuned. Stacy, while we're in a 3-minute break, you can chat with some folks. What do you think is the most common misconception women have about guns? And while you're doing that, I'm going to do some work on getting this next guest lined up. Okay. Yeah. So, what are some of the common misconceptions that women have about guns?
Oh, well, they feel like it's a guy thing. I think they feel like you have to be manly or butchy, I guess, to carry a gun.
And you can be very girly.
You can be very girly and love your makeup and whatever. And also that they feel like it's really scary and that they're just never going to be able to master it.
Yeah.
And then when you see them and you see the excitement in their face, like, oh my gosh, I can get this. I can do this. Yeah. That's what I love. I mean,
well, listen, thank you so much for joining us this time of the morning. And I guess I'll see you at the next Well-Armed Woman meeting.
You will.
And by the way, if you are in Arkansas and you want to join the Southwest